Hello and welcome back, everybody. Remember when I said that I won't have a game this Saturday? Now we're Saturday. I'm here alone. Ah, boy. So plans got canceled. Starting to get a good feeling as to how Rob's going through his experiences there. So, um, yeah, I am unfortunately alone tonight. Mainly because Rutan was also not going to be available today. So regardless of if I could or could not stream, there probably would not be one other than me doing a solo night. So I'm doing a solo night. Now, what does that mean? As a little bit of a pre-game stuff here. I was planning on doing a different scenario. Let me see if I can pull it up again. The scenario I had planned to do was Camel Jockeys from a scenario pack called Galabat and Beyond. This is it is a pack that is from Critical Hit, but unfortunately there are problems. So many, or I guess one major one that makes it so it is impossible for me to play on Vassal. I have the scenario cards. They're in one of my binders, one of my many binders, which is crazy to say out loud. But the problem is that there are no digitized maps out there. I don't have a hand scanner, so I do not have the capability to hand scan scenarios or scenario cards and maps. Now, scenario cards don't really matter. You can take a photo of a scenario card, bing, bang, boom, you're done. But the scenario map is different, obviously. It's hard. You want to make sure that you get the edges correct, that the distances are correct, all that sort of stuff. And ultimately, I, again, do not have that capacity, that capability, so I just can't play those scenarios because I do not have the maps digitized. Now, I figured there is a way to get some maps from Critical Hit, which again I do not understand why Critical Hit does not try to work with the ASL community and have their maps digitized by themselves and send it over. But the big problem is that because Critical Hit has its own system called VATS, the Advanced Tobruk system, the V being virtual, just like with Vassal. I was hoping that maybe the VATS module would have the required or available maps. Now, long story short, they don't for multiple reasons. One being that I believe the biggest issue is that there are already maps with the codes that they use. So what I mean by that, if you look at Galabat and Beyond, if you ever have access to it, they have maps, a variety of maps. I think like 8 to 10 maps, if not more. And they all have a double letter code. So AA, CHBB, CHCC, etc., up to some number. And the problem with that is that there are other modules that have double letter codes. I don't know why Critical Hit has multiple modules with multiple double letter map board codes and they overlap. So I don't know if it's a matter of in Vassal they're simply double letter and in VATS it is something else like GAB, and then for Galabat and Beyond, then double code or something. I don't know. So essentially, I specifically cannot play the Galabat and Beyond maps or scenarios without ever getting access to the maps. And I don't know if that'll ever happen. That's a project for a future me in like 20 years or something. Whether I have to buy the maps myself and digitize them or whatever else. So instead, I was looking through some scenarios and seeing if there's anything that was relatively small or quick to play, and I came across Damsels in Distress. This is the scenario by Franc Tireur. I've played them a bunch of times before. Everybody should be familiar with them. And this is a dense scenario, not in terms of counters necessarily, but in rules. So I'm going to try and get through these quickly, so that we can just get to the action, and hopefully have something interesting go on. So in this scenario, we have the Italians. They are defending against the Greeks. The Greeks are using allied minor counters in this case, whereas the Italians are just simply the Italians. They don't have anything, any special counters as far as I'm aware. There is an overlay on this map. We are using overlay 6. It's a huge overlay, and that's why most of this map has no markers on them save the R line, because overlay 6 essentially overwrites that, and that becomes very annoying when you're trying to pick out which where certain counters are supposed to go, because you are referencing board coordinates underneath the overlay, which means you either in a physical game you would move the overlay so that you can look it over and blah 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 blah. Especially annoying when the top board and bottom board go different directions for their alphabets. Anyways, in this map we have, like I said, the Italians. They set up in technically three separate groups. They have a group that sets up only on hill hexes on board 58, and then they have a second group that sets up in road or open ground hexes numbered 9 and greater on overlay 6. So essentially, outside of the R column, anything in the bottom two hex rows, provided they are road or open ground, as well as some prisoners. So in this scenario, there are quote-unquote Greek schoolgirl prisoners. There's an SSR about them. We'll talk about them shortly. The Italians also get reinforcements that come in on the north edge, north being to the left in this scenario. And then we have the Greeks. The Greeks end up having a force of 9 squads. This is against a starting 9.5, I believe, for the Italians. So pretty even to begin with. They essentially just come in from the east side. That's it. There's no real special stuff going on there. Now, Damsels in Distress comes with 6 SSRs, and they are complicated. First off, EC is wet. There is no wind at start. So I do need to put this and mark it wet. So EC is wet, no wind. Mist and ground snow are in effect. Now I need to double check mist, but I'm fairly certain that acts as a generic +1 to attacks. And ground snow will cause some issues with going up hills, but otherwise there shouldn't be an issue. Now, that's probably not going to matter too much right from the get-go, because there is the Greeks are incentivized to get into the buildings and save the prisoners, but we'll get there. Kindling is not allowed, and there is a hex side. All buildings are ground level only, which, that really becomes a problem for a building like this, multi-hex building. It just can't really see anywhere else, which is can be problematic. It also means that getting on the hill doesn't really mean much, because you're not going to see too far into the village. So despite the advantage of height, what you really want to do is get in and do damage in some capacity. There is a hex side. So hex side R8 S8 is a road. It's just I don't know why the heck that zoomed out. It's just that the overlay, obviously doesn't have a curved, and in the real map, or the original map, R8 curved. So they're just trying to make it so it's connected, so that you can walk through. That's more, if anything, that's going to more be for the Italian reinforcements, because that acts as a way for them to get a little bit into the village a little bit faster. SSR 2. There are 3 OB prisoners. They must be guarded. They must start guarded and can never move alone. Now, the problem is that they don't, like, there's nobody can be with them at the start. They can't start guarded, simply because nobody is able to get into that hex. So I don't really know why that's the case. Um, so either there is, actually, you know what? I'm gonna check errata right now, because that is very strange. Now the reason I say this is because the setup for the Italians, they have to set up 9 or greater, so they can only set up in the bottom 2 hexes. But I am going to. Okay, they have to have 2 half squads set up as guards with the scoop guards. All right, cool. I'm glad that that has been specified, and then I can just do this. Perfect. Okay, so small correction. We'll get there. So the OB prisoners must be guarded. They must start guarded and may never move alone. They cannot be moved. They cannot advance. They cannot be abandoned by the Italian player until turn 4, which is over half the scenario. Whenever a Greek or partisan units, they cannot exit the map. They cannot be rearmed and are immune to any attack by Italian units. So interesting in that you can potentially lose control as the Italians of these prisoners. The Greeks can take control of them, and then you can shoot at the Greeks, and you won't be able to affect the prisoners, which is I don't quite understand it, but whatever. Because you would think that maybe it'd be like the Greeks that are whatever. Whenever a Greek or partisan unit attacks in CC or melee, an Italian unit guarding an OB given prisoner, and that Greek attack rolls a double on top of the regular CC result, the OB given prisoners suffer a casualty reduction. So, for example, if you roll a 2 or boxcars or double 4 or whatever, you automatically cause a result against the prisoners. So you don't just get to attack and not suffer some sort of consequence. It also means that it does not matter if you are not attacking a guard. If you are within that sphere, it seems like, it has to be a unit guarding it, but you don't have to. It doesn't matter if it's like a 3-to-1, a 4-to-1. It doesn't matter how many prisoners that one unit is guarding, etc. Regardless of the attack, you are there is a potential risk to cause casualty reduction against a prisoner. All right, SSR 3. As soon as an unbroken Greek MMC enters a level 3 hex with a LOS to any building location, the Greek player gets a partisan reinforcement die roll on each and every Greek player turn rally phase as follows. So you make you have rolls, and then it's possible to get concealment counters. It's possible to get units. It's possible to get leaders, so on and so forth. So there's also some stuff here, like the Greek player adds 1 to its win die roll on the first one, and so on and so forth. The Greek player adds 1 to its CDR, a colored die roll on each turn after its first reinforcements until he receives an SMC. Partisan units are placed in building hexes, which is very important because it means that you can just start having guys pop out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy. Exception, they cannot be generated in building Z6 on the overlay 6Z6, and not adjacent to any Italian units. Every die roll / singular die roll for partisan reinforcements are secret, so you can't, obviously I will know what my rolls are, but in a world where you were playing against another human, you would make secret die rolls so that you could not tell what does exist and doesn't exist. Because my understanding would be that it would really mess with what you would and would not be able to do with regards to the, how do I put it? When you have units that just get generated, because they get generated with concealment counters, and there are opportunities for there to be no units that exist, half squads or full squads. And that just, obviously means that you could potentially have a group of nobody, and if you could see that, you would just challenge it right away. It also makes it riskier for the Italians to ever go into CC. Not because they're not generally strong, period, but because those odds could quickly turn from a 1-to-1 to a 1-to-3, which would turn into 1-to-4, etc., etc. So a lot there to contend with. Additionally, SSR4, as soon as the Unbroken Greek MMC enters a level 3 hex with LOS to any building, the Greek SAN is raised by 2, which is crazy. You go from 2 to 4, which the faster you get there and do that, the easier it's going to be for the Greeks. On the other side, the Italians have a SAN of 3, and their ELR is a boring or terrible 2, if you want to look at it that way. Greek ELR is 4 for the regular quote-unquote troops, where the partisans are an ELR 3. A Greek partisan unit that is an attacker in CC melee or ambushes an enemy unit may declare hand-to-hand. So again, you could potentially have a lot more kills, but going for those attacks could be bad, just because you're forcing, if you're against, well, you know what, that does make sense for me to want to do something like this and then half squad that. So the reason for this is because if I'm the Italian player, I want to spread the prisoners out and force more CC locations. Now, granted, it's possible that'll never happen and that the Italians will fail their morale checks because they are just a 6 or a 7 in the best of cases. But anyways. And lastly, 337 127s are partisans, so they have the partisan rules. They have a self-rally capability, which is kind of crazy. However, they cower as if green troops and cannot form multi-location fire groups. So there's some downsides to the partisans, but they're not too crazy. All right, I think that's it for SSRs and some start of scenario shenanigans here. I'm going to get my log file started, and as I do that, I'm going to refresh this.
Stick to me like glue. Keep your eyes open.
So thank you kindly, 83 Andre ASL, for the follow. I am going to get the show on the road and hope that I don't screw things up majorly. So, turn 1, weather, no change. We're going to look at rally phase, nothing can happen, nothing in prep fire either. In the movement phase, I'm going to assault move 2 groups. I don't think anybody can see them, so I'm not too worried about doing anything at this point. And then I've got the very bad idea here to try and push through. So I'm just going to look at mist real quick just to make sure, because I think it's just a +1. There may be an additional +1 at a high number of hexes. I don't think it's the case, but where's mist? Mist. Whenever mist is present, there is an LV hindrance. DRM applies at the range of 7 or greater. Okay, so it's not even... I thought there'd be at a close range, but not the case. I should also point out, oh, that is the other one. Yeah, okay. There's no overcast or anything like that. So yeah, if it's 7 or greater, there's a +1 hindrance. Otherwise, there's no real issue going on here. I do want to point this out because since I'm playing against myself, I might as well just talk about strategy a little bit. So the idea here is I want a guy on the left to kind of be a spoiler. It does force the Italians to keep, some guys on the left and try to shoot at them. If it doesn't work out, then that really sucks. I probably could have split them, or deployed them, I should say, and then, work it out that way. But I don't think I'm I don't think it's really the end of the world necessarily. And then on the right side, because the right side is so weak, so to speak, there's only 2 units that can realistically see anything there. Obviously, there's the foxhole as well, but because the number of units at the close end of it is considerably small compared to this side, I'm trying to push through here and get into the town, and then I can, hopefully work my way back or just go straight to the prisoners. Obviously, getting the level 3 hex stuff is way better, but even if I can just kind of hook on the right and then push through here and force these guys to move, then it should help me out. So, without further ado, I do want to check though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, any hex? Okay. Well, let's just kind of get this show on the road here. 1 squad will go in. Normal move for 1. He would get revealed. Actually, I would just reveal a guy on I-5. They have a mortar, and do I want to shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? They would lose concealment, and I don't believe I would get a +1 for hindrance. So yeah, I'll take a shot. Why not? All right, I break the mortar. That's great. Lovely start. So that was 1 movement point, 2, and 3. I'm also going to double check ground snow. I'm fairly confident that ground snow does not do anything crazy. I'm pretty sure it's just for height differences. But now I'm catching myself in some self-doubt here. Ground snow. Ground snow. Ground snow, always wet unless blah blah blah. Terrain. During ground snow, yeah, per elevation change, road bonus is not allowed unless using plowed road. Cool. So I was correct. So I get there for 3. I'll go here for 4, and that'll be it. Yeah, I probably should have swapped those 2 guys. Next up, 1, same idea, loses concealment. 2, 3. Do I shoot? You know what? I'll take a shot. 2 down 2, 7 on 2, nothing. So he gets there for 3, and then I'll go for 4. As I get there for 4, I will take a second shot. It is a 1 down 2, 5 is a pin test check. They are fine. Ouch. That's unfortunate. So they're there. I don't get any more residual. Whoa. Thank you, Sandwich Savant. Glad to see you're doing Starter Kit 1 stuff. I don't think I've even played Simple Equation. I think that's further down the line. Have you been playing on tabletop, or have you been doing on Vassal? I'd be curious, because I know the modules on Starter Kit or on TTS are pretty nice, but I don't know. I'm stuck on Vassal. I like the functions better. I'm gonna declare. Ooh, do I declare 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm gonna declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because I would probably lose the subsequent CC, I'm gonna take a shot. Oh, wow. Okay, so I don't break this guy, which is fantastic. This becomes this doubles to 4, then is reduced to 2. I technically cower, so I am reduced to 1, but that is a -2 shot for a 0 on 1, which is, no matter what, is going to be a KIA. Crazy. On Vassal, nice. Nice. All right, so that's a KIA. That's a. It reminds me, I need to look again at more viewer engagement stuff on like spending points or whatever, coming up with ideas for spending points. I'm curious if I did anything to like increase, like if you spend channel points to increase a sand number, that might be kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to lose another squad because that was kind of insane. But I do still want 1, 2, 3, bypass 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, that's not possible now. He could. No, he can't shoot again. So CX 1, 2, 3, bypass 4, 5, 6. I need to get into these woods. I think that's my goal here. Last guys remaining here, so I'm gonna have one guy go into F10. He's gonna get revealed to 9-1. He's there for 1. I don't think anybody sees him. We'll then just go into G10 for 3 total, and then over on the right of that guy, go to E10 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just so I can split them up. Oh, you know what? That's true. I could have been doing that. I might still be able to see people, so it's not the end of the world. But I probably should have shot with them. Yeah, not the end of the world. And then lastly, guy comes here. He's going to get revealed because I will reveal somebody here. Question is what? Or whomst? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, might as well. I'm going to reveal a squad with an LMG. They're both shooting at half, so it is a 2.5 firepower down 2. No effect. As their shot finishes, you said you wanted to learn what most people use. Yeah, Vassal, honestly, I think is what most people use. Tabletop Simulator has its niche community, I will say. Like it's there are people who use it for sure, but I definitely don't know how popular it is. I think one of the bigger issues is that I don't think a lot of maps are converted for TTS. I could be wrong on this, by the way. I know Rutan, my usual Saturday game partner, does a lot of, or did a lot of work with the modules, but I don't know how many more maps are have been digitized. So stuff like the action packs, you know, hassles and that from like third parties. I don't know how popular those are. I'm going to take a shot with 2 squads in L5, same target. They are both halved as well for 3 firepower, no effect. And lastly, honestly, the flip to full ASL is not as complicated as you might imagine. Concealment, well, obviously, I guess like if you've only played Starter Kit 1, there's going to be some changes. But a lot of it kind of, you get the gist of it, really. There's some concealment stuff, which if you ever get around to Starter Kit 4, that introduces it there, which is nice. But otherwise, like, yeah, bypass movement, I think, is a thing that exists, that doesn't exist in Starter Kit. And there's a few other things, but it's not, the leap is not as large as you might imagine. So I'm going to have a squad and a machine gun also shoot. Keep in mind, I've already shot up with a bunch of guys. Maybe I should have done a fire group. I don't think it really matters all that much. Leader's directing, so I'm not cowering, which is nice. The MMG is at full firepower, and the squad is at half for 1.5, so it's a 5.5 firepower. I don't know if no, it's just 5. So 4 on 5. 2 morale check. Uh-oh. Okay. Son of a... Of all the things. Wow, that guy's... Okay, well, that sucks. I lost 2 squads on turn 1. Alright. Does that show up? No. Okay, cool. I've had a skim of the rules and the Stargate combined rulebook thing, but not played with those rules yet. Yeah. Because I think if you download the rules on MMP Gamers or MMPgamer.com, I don't think you can get separated rule books, which makes sense because honestly, that would just mean they would have to have the rule books like 3 times over. Um, but yeah, no, it's not like I said. If anything, the most complicated jump you will experience if you choose to go down that path will be vehicles. Vehicles, there's a lot of just I will say math because you have a lot of properties for people that shoot and who they are shooting at because it changes a lot. Um, but outside of like that as a large portion of math in general, you don't have you don't have that much to worry about. There's a lot of edge cases that come into play, but you learn them as you go. Like it's not I would never see it as like a thing to worry about, I think is the best way to put it. Especially like these days, you know, it's never the best to have to refer to a rule book frequently, but when it like that's something that you see more with vehicles, which is why I think some people have more negative views on it, or like they kind of they want to avoid it. But once you hit those edge cases and it's you get it kind of ingrained in your brain, it doesn't it's not as frequent as a break in your actions or whatever. Okay, that was it for movement. Defensive fire phase, I have no other actions I can do. Unfortunately, I know where my fakes are and I know where my real guy is, which it's just down here. So yeah, I don't have anybody else that can shoot. Advanced fire phase, honestly, the only things I really have is I've got 2 squads that I will shoot against this the 7 morale guy. All right, never mind. And these guys can't do anything, so nothing's gonna happen. We can take off our counters. Route phase. Route phase is it's legitimately terrible. So uh, this guy, I believe, has to route. I actually do need to double check this because he is within normal range, and that's the one problem here. So to try and speak about this, in the route phase, you if you are within normal range and in open ground, you typically have to route. I don't think this guy cannot route. Like I think he must. So because he must route, he has to go somewhere as a he has to go somewhere eligible. But unfortunately for him, going into P9 or O10 is closer to a unit. It doesn't matter which one; they are just automatically closer. So there is technically nowhere for that guy to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I don't think he can legally stay there. So as a result, he has to route. Um, if we yeah, it's normal range and LOS of a non-melee enemy unit, it's support weapon or gun. So unfortunately this guy has to route, but because he can't route anywhere, he's just dead for failure to route. That's a bummer. I was hoping that it wouldn't be this terrible at the start, but yikes. Um, Yeah, I mean, mortars is not that complicated. Guns/ordnance is the same idea. Like, you get past the basics, the principles of it, and you're applying a lot of the same math that you would for vehicles. So it feels like, at least to me, like the bigger jump is going to vehicles. And if you slowly integrate yourself and go with guns first, you'll see a lot of similarities between how guns and vehicles work in combat, and then you go from there. Um, nice win it, taking a win. Was it against? I have to look at that scenario again sometime. Um, Yeah, the 1944, like they really, honestly, I really love the starter kits. I have not played them near as much. I'm gonna do advanced phase real quick here. You're gonna go there, and you're in the woods. Um, I do really like the starter kits. I think Examel. I don't think I've played Examel. But congrats nonetheless. It's cool to pick up your first victory and to kind of see how the system works. Especially when if you start playing against the same regular person, you get to try out new tactics. Playing the same scenario multiple times in starter kit can be pretty advantageous to see what you quote unquote are doing wrong versus what you do correctly, and correctly being objective, like um, whether you take a shot at a guy with a -2 or you skip that because there's a better target with a -1 only or no minus, that sort of thing can be pretty cool. Turn 1, Italians, weather, no change. But yeah, to finish the thought, I really like the starter kits. Period. I think they did a great job with them, and you really get a good like ramping up of complexity and just like I would say fun personally, but beat me in the game we did before. Oh yeah, War of the Rats. Um, yeah, final CC roll. I find the scenarios where your final CC roll kind of determines the game can be really exciting, and that's cool that you went through that. Um, Rally phase. There's no actions to be done here. Save for a repair, which I didn't get. So this mortar is probably I can't imagine I'm gonna repair that, but so yeah, that's it for rally phase. Prep fire phase. I have a few choices here. I am gonna want to move these squads because they're not useful where they are now. Um, Nah, don't worry about it, sandwich. This is kind of one of the reasons why I like doing the solo nights is like I'm playing a scenario that for all intents and purposes is probably gonna, well, maybe not end super quickly, but I tend to pick quote unquote bad scenarios or fast scenarios. Sometimes the two are the same, and I like being open for questions. Like if people have any questions on like modules to look at, or I don't know, your favorite tank, or like why planes aren't represented more in ASL, that sort of stuff. Like I think it's always cool to have those discussions, and especially if those discussions continue in the ASL Discord. Not that I want to plug them too much or whatever, but I do think that it's a great place. Obviously, you're in it, but for anybody else who's listening, I think it's really cool to be part of that community because, frankly, the ASL community is just it's rare to find people in your stuff. Uh, I did not check the balance. Actually, that's a great point. What is the balance? Oof. Italian. uh, you know. Wow. Okay. The Roar has this as 7-3, but the ASL archive has this as 4-0. I'm curious as to how many of those archive plays are Roar plays, because at least one of them is an import from Roar. So I wonder if that's a double count. But I can kind of see why the Greeks have not won this too much. Prep fire phase. I'm going to try. You know what? I'm going to try against the guy in D6. Wow. Okay. Well, it's a 4-on-2, which is a 1 morale check. Okay. So to reiterate, I have 8 morale guys, which is fantastic. You can't really get higher than this outside of like Berserk fanatics and SSRs, and I am failing my morale checks. Like unmodified, that still would have failed. That's crazy. That is insane. Okay, so that guy's prepped. This squad or half squad doesn't really get to do anything, which is fine. I do have a medium machine gun, and you know what? I could probably see these guys in G9. I'm gonna take a shot from K6 to G9, And wow, I'm glad I have a leader directed. Can I see this? I can. So it's a +2 shot, which obviously would not do anything. Range was 5, yeah, so that's a 5 firepower shot. So no effect. I did not get rate of fire either, which is a bummer. But other than that, I don't know if I really have anything else. So I will go to movement phase. In the movement phase, I am going to... I have to try and shift some guys around here. So... these two squads in L5 are going to move to K5 and then J4 for a total of 2, and that's their move. I don't think anybody can see them. These guys definitely can't because of the plateau effect, and I believe this guy is blocked by these woods, so I don't think they can see anybody. The guy in this foxhole is going to jump out for 1. He's going to then get into L4 for 3 total, and then to K5 for 4. And then way at the bottom, where I have the prisoners, I am going to CX this group in Y9. And then I want to move 1, bypass 2, bypass 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess bypass 6, bypass 7, 8. So because I need to get into a position to block this movement down here, which at this rate, I don't think the Greeks are going to be able to do it. So this is bad. I don't know all the colors. I don't know what that word is because somehow it's, I think my anti-swear thing is aggressive. Yes, the Italians are great. They are very... I should pull out some counters for you. What's another one that looks like them? So the Finnish troops are also gray, but you can kind of see there's a little bit of a hue difference. It's minor, and if you're not paying attention, you don't realize it. But Italians are gray, and the Greeks are treated as allied minors, and yeah, that's why they're more turquoise, like teal thing. Oh, weird that it thought it was a... whatever. Um, yeah, hopefully, if the bot ever, like, gets you for whatever reason, let me know, and, like, bug me on Discord or whatever, and I'll try to unban you or whatever. Yeah, exactly. The Axis miners are also a different tint of green. If I pull them out, they're just, like, a more vibrant green that rather than, like, turquoise or whatever. Next, guys... I'm just going to have them go 1, 2, 3 into the building, and I'm allowed to transfer control, right? Yeah, I just can't, they can't move or advance, which is fine. So eventually I will swap them out, and they'll have their things. That's it for movement, because everybody else is fake, and I know what they are, so I can only do so much. Speaking of fakes, I will make some attempts here. So, first and foremost, squad in B6 is going to take a 4-up-1 shot. They will fail it. I've got another 4-up-2 shot. They will also fail it. And then I'm going to reveal, because technically I wouldn't know. So I'm going to reveal 2 squads and shoot at this pack in H7. It is a 4-up-1 shot. Doesn't matter. All right. And then this gang is going to shoot back at the guys in the foxhole. They will be shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, full firepower. They are going to be shooting 8-up-2. Yes, 8-up-2. 7 on 8 is a 1 morale check. The leader is going to break, and then the squad is also going to break, which is unfortunate. All right, so they've taken their shots. That's it. Advanced phase, or advanced fire phase, nothing, because my guys can't see anybody, so we'll take some counters off here. And then routes. Those guys breaking actually is kind of a boon for them. Now, the question is, can I somehow route... So, this guy would technically have to route to A7. and it isn't him getting closer. So, yeah, I have to go there. I can't omit that direction, which sucks. He's going to have to low crawl to C7 because I can't do anything else with him. Meanwhile, the guys in K6 are going to have to drop their medium machine gun because I need to get them to try and come back. So they're going to drop their medium and get into L5. I think that costs them 3 to do that. And yeah, cool. Then we go to advanced phase. In the advanced phase, squad's going to jump into this foxhole. I'm going to try and pick up the MMG soon. Guy with the mortar. I mean, the mortar, you can't really do too much with it. It is a half squad. Mortar is going to jump out to J5. And then I'm going to have a squad go into the foxhole and one squad stay out of it. I think that's my plan here. Yeah. Yeah, especially because I can't do anything with the mortar on this side past, just because this woods is going to interfere. So until I can get to the edges, doesn't really matter. Oh, did this guy want to advance? That's a great question. Do I want him to advance? These guys are going to have to move. He can either take a shot or move. Same thing with this guy. He's either got to move or take a shot. I think that they can just suffer at this point. I think they're just going to stay there. Because if this guy moves, he's moving in open ground anyways. Yeah, I think that's it. I did want my guys in the bottom to move, however. And these guys can transfer in the advance. So how do I want to do this? Here. I also have to do a bunch of course correcting here, and you can go there. I think that makes the most sense. These guys are CX, these guys are CX'd. Yeah, I think that's it. We go to turn 2 for the Greeks, of which things are not going well. Weather, no change. Almost was gust, but no change. Then, rally phase. They can technically, get a self-rally. Wow, okay. That heat of battles them. Actually, no, field promotion, I believe. Because it's the first one, I believe that's a field promotion. Yeah, that's a different thing that also is a big difference from starter kit to not starter kit. Snipers is a big one, too. Not that it comes up a lot, but it can change things in quite interesting ways. But heat of battle as well is a big one. Just for its ability to do things. Actually, oh man, because that would mean it's a... Yes, that's still a field promotion. Then they just come back. There's no... Alright. Well, I get a solitary dice roll. 6, that's bad. So they were broken. So there's a +1. There is... base morale is 8. But I think it's base morale unbroken. So it's a -1. So they get a 6-1 leader. So allies get a 6-1 leader come back, or get generated, which is not super good. I'm glad I haven't ELR'd. Not going well for think result by telling, although there's only turn 2. Yeah, I think a thing to try and keep in mind. Positivity, power of positivity can really work wonders. It's not always what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, there's a couple other things to do in the rally phase, but it's not the smoking gun in terms of how it might determine scenarios. Like, for example, start of turn 2 looks pretty bad. Getting a squad back for free and getting a leader doesn't really matter all that much, but getting a free unit to exist as well can change things at the very least. So it's always a positive. Unless you're super dead and you really don't want to play, I always try to advise, like, keep playing, because things can get kind of crazy. Yeah, Italians have a broken mortar. They get to try a self rally, which they will not succeed. And then I will try to repair the mortar. Didn't get it. And I will try to pick up the MMG, which they are successful. So now this squad has two sport weapons, an LMG and an MMG. And yeah, so prep fire phase. Prep fire phase. This is gonna be tricky here. This is gonna be really tricky because I need to get up this. I need to get up this hill. I think I would know if I was counting counters. I would know what is fake and what isn't. Okay. Plan here. I'm going to have this stack in G9 shoot at the foxhole again. It's another good, really good roll. So that's +1. So that's a 6 on 8. Yeah, 6 on 8. I think that's another 1 check. Squatted break is broken. Also, that, I believe, is an ELR. So that's out of commission now, which really sucks. Okay. So those guys broke. That's cool. I'm going to attempt a shot. 4 up 1. They cower. No effect. Do I try a second guy? No, because I'm just stuck in the open ground. I really need to move those guys. Those guys really need to like get their asses in gear here. So I think that's it for prep fire. Movement phase. In the movement phase, I am going to have. I'm going to have. There's no good answer here. 6-1 is going to go to D6 for 1. And then goes to D5 for 1 times 2 because he's going uphill into an open ground. And then +1 for snow, for ground snow. So it's a +3 overall. So 4 movement points total. Considering the other stuff to move, I don't really care for that. Like, I think I can just give that free reign. And then have him go to D4 for 5. Next up, the 4-5-8 is going to assault move to C6. I would be insane to not take that shot. That's a down 1 shot because it's open ground. It's doubled to 4, so it's a 6 on 4, which is a, I believe, a 1 check. No, 6 on 4 is a normal. I don't know why I'm thinking that. So normal morale check. Those guys are fine. There is a 2 residual. 8-1 leader will move 1, 2, 3. This, again, I will take another shot because it'd be silly not to. It doubled halved. Down 2. 6 on 2 is a pin test check. The guy's pinned. Ouch, that sucks. I was going to use him for some CC. Okay. And then there's a 1 residual there. This squad will lose CX. And I need them to get going. And because if I let these guys just occupy the, well, you know what? I might be screwed there anyways. If I move, I can only get into the wooden building after CX. Or after I advance. I either give up. I think I have to risk it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm pretty sure nobody could see him. Nobody there. I don't think either of these guys could see him. Or it's such an edge case, I don't want to try it, because that'd be a waste of a shot. Yeah, I think that's it. Over on this side, 1 squad in H9 is going to... Do I CX? No, that's going to be problematic regardless. So I will go to I9 for 1, and then into J8 for 3 total. I will not shoot. If that was a real unit, I probably would also keep them concealed because it's sneaky first and foremost, and you get some positives if you go into CC. This squad, on the other hand, because I need to make moves and be dangerous and stuff, I will have this guy go to H8 for 1, and then 2, 3, 4. into H7. Because these guys are fake, they do not push this guy back to H8, although that would be very cruel to do so. And I am going to take a shot with J5 first. That's a 1 down 2. Okay. 1-on-1 is a K1. That's crazy. 1-on-1 is K1, so instantly this guy is halved, and then he takes a 1 morale check. Okay, I think I've only... What's my stats? Morale check. My... I've rolled 5 morale checks above 7, and only in 2 under. That's crazy. Obviously, it's a very low amount of rolls, but that is... I don't know if I can... Okay, objective in this one. Greeks win at game, and if 2 or more OB given prisoners squad counters are not stacked with Italian guards, and if there are no unbroken Italian MMCs in buildings, Z6 and CC5. Which one is CC? Oh, it's this one. Yeah. This isn't going well for the Greeks. These guys won't have anybody to shoot at, so I will also shoot at them as a 6. I think it's still 6 down 2. That won't do anything. Yeah, pretty sure that won't do anything. They're considered first fired. Nobody else can move. Defensive. Yeah, that tends to happen. Honestly, yeah, sample size obviously is a big determining factor, and just like where they come out. Having really bad morale checks at the start of a scenario, I find is way crueler than having them at the end. But that's also some confirmation bias for sure. Defensive fire phase, none. Just period. Advanced fire phase, I am going to take out residuals here and take out defensive. I'm going to have this 458 squad shoot at C5. They're doubled halved, so 4 up 1. 7-on-4 is a pintash check. They are fine. And I have no other shots. I guess technically I could do 2 up 1. No. The only reason to make this shot, by the way, is to try and get rid of the concealment. Yeah, like if the Greeks in this example, which has been the case, if you're losing almost a third of your starting firepower and troops by the end of turn 2, that's bad. Like there's just no getting around it. So yeah, that's it for advanced fire phase. Routes. So in the route phase, this guy can... He technically has to route this way. Well, I don't know if he can stay adjacent. So yeah, I'm gonna have him route back to G9. I think that obviously it makes more sense, but I just don't think you can stay next to an unknown unit. So they won't, because the guy who broke in the foxhole is also gonna route to L5. And hope to survive there. I'm gonna have to end up dragging this mortar to different foxholes. Funny. There are no other routes to do, so we'll go to advances. In the advance phase, this 457 and J8 is going to declare CX to go up. Technically, this would get marked with the CC counter. We're just going to do things correctly here. Over here, I'm going to have both squads jump. That makes no sense. No, do I keep them in? I'm going to move them to H9. I think H9 has a shot on I5. And I need this leader to get going here. Over on this side, this squad is going to advance. It only costs him 3. So he does not CX as a result. This 6+1 is going to jump with. That is probably a terrible idea. I will explain a little bit later. And then this 458 squad goes down to B5. And then this 458 goes to FF1. Which now can be seen by stacking E3 and so on and so forth. That is it for advances. CC phase, we have 2 CCs. We're going to do the one on the left first because I know they're fake. So you would go to reveal the power involved to do your ratios and stuff. The Italians can't reveal anybody because they're all fake. So the stack just goes away. Over here, on the other hand, there is no ambush roll because it is not a woods or hex or building hex. So there's no CC ambush to attempt. It's just straight rolls at this point. I can declare hand to hand. However, hand to hand usually backfires on me. This is a 2-to-1, so if I declare hand to hand, it would just need a 9 or greater to have a result. This is a half squad, so a 9 or greater would just kill them. I might actually need to declare hand to hand. So a thing to point out, I haven't had to mention this in a while. 6+1s are weird leaders. I say this because 6+1s leadership is not mandatory in all cases. What that means is a 6+1 does not need to add a +1 when making an IFT roll or when doing like a CC attack. Now, in a CC attack, they do if they are alone, or I believe if everybody else is berserk. To me, that doesn't make any sense. A 6+1 is so bad that you would think that just by default they just suck and give bad advice at all times, and because they are a superior officer, that goes towards the unit. So I'm going to treat that as they must add their +1. Oh, I'm pushing forward. Oh, I'm not. I guess I'm lying. Yeah. For if it's like the morale checks, yeah, I agree. That tends to that can happen. Uh, I believe that's one of the funky things about it is that you don't add the +1, but you can still prevent cowering. I'm going to actually I'm going to look this up because I think this is always very interesting to point out how mandatory leadership can play a part, and why I personally don't like mandatory or the lack of mandatory leadership for certain things. So, a player cannot decline use of a non-zero, whether positive or negative, leadership modifier in the same location or moving stack when performing a morale check, task check, or rally attempt, or ambush, concealment, search casualties, integrity check, blah blah blah. Unless there's another leader that has a different modifier that you could substitute. So, however, a player can always opt out to exclude leader direction in any attack it makes. The only exceptions here are armored leader. We can get to that. Armored leaders are armored leaders. Leader creation, which is different, and an MG mandatory fire direction. So you do not, in fact, have to add, even if you're protecting a unit from cowering. You for whatever reason, you can just opt out. And that to me is crazy because, again, the reason why you don't want 6+1s, why you want them to throw away, and because they're bad, you want leaders because you can rally, and that they're a guy who can at least attempt rallies in locations where you just need troops again. But the fact that you cannot use or you cannot suffer the negative consequences of a 6+1 when you're leader fire directing, to me is crazy. Now, I will I will put a little asterisk and say it's possible that in the rule book it says you must use it, or if you're not using the modifier, you still cower. The rule book is large, and I don't seem to recall that being the case. Actually, I'm gonna check cowering. Leaders cowering. What do we have here? Leaders. A moving leader who becomes pinned does not force blah blah. This cancel 2 morale movement factors. Pin leader can neither direct an attack nor use voluntary route. Can still voluntary break. Yeah, if a pin leader, you can't modify morale checks or task checks. I'm just trying to see if I can find the correct line here. Random selection. Blah blah. Oh, do I have to look for leader direction? Of course. Leader direction. Is it? Why would they not put that here? Oh, you know what? It's probably fire direction. And not leader direction. Fire direction. A single leader cannot direct more than one weapon or unit per phase. Also, that becomes really interesting because if you have a unit, so for example, let's say you had, all of these units were in the same hex. If the leader directs one squad because they're shooting at one target and then the other squads are shooting at another, the leader can't direct the second guy. And on subsequent shots, he also wouldn't be able to direct unless the first squad he was directing is applicable. Fire direction. Yeah, so single leader can't do more. Blah, 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 blah. Leader direction can be used again in subsequent fire. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. A leader may use his leadership DRM. This is A7.531 if you're ever curious. So you may use leadership to modify IFT dice roll of any one attacking unit or fire group per player turn, provided all firing units of the fire group are in the same location. You may be employed on multi-hex if there's multiple leaders and so on and so forth. So yeah, you do not need to use a leadership DRM, which again, crazy. It is very crazy to say that the +1 does not need to be added because again, these leaders are bad. If you're so bad that you can't get people back into the fight via morale checks or rally checks, then I'm sorry, but that doesn't make any sense that they wouldn't be so bad as to adversely affect a fire attack or CC or whatever. So all to say, in this CC, I'm gonna declare hand-to-hand combat because I desperately need the some kills here. So the Greeks are at 2 to 1. They will get a casualty reduction. That was almost bad. They almost missed it. Whereas the Italians are at a 1 to 4, unfortunately, and thus won't get any success. So that happened. That's it for CC. We will go to Italian turn 2, where there is no change. And then rallies and stuff. So self-rally attempt. I don't have anybody else to do self-rally stuff with. I gotta take the pins off. So it's just going to be the leader over here is going to do attempt. He does make it. And then I have a 5 unmodified, no, and a DRM that is not going to work. Half squad loses the mortar, which is fine at this point. And then I have a rally over in G9. No, doesn't get it because of DM. And I think that's it. Prep fire phase. In the prep fire phase, yeah, I mean, I could do a 1-up 1. Seems a little silly. Yeah, and that I wouldn't want to do that. That would just be very dumb. I could have all these guys shoot at that guy, because I'm pretty sure they'd be able to see him. I actually don't know if they would be able to see him. I feel like they should. I don't think that would be a blind hex. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at these guys. It's a 3 firepower that cowers. Because they are, they just cower because they rolled doubles. That's still a 2-on-1 and a potential sniper. Did I roll for any? I don't think. Yeah, I didn't get the sniper last time. I think that's what it was. Or no, that was for a different one. I feel like, oh, I probably didn't roll a sniper that one time. Yeah, I don't think I rolled sniper that one time. Alright, whatever. Sniper double, I'll just roll for both of them. They do activate a sniper. So, this, like I said, is a 2-on-1. which is unfortunate because that would have been even better. It's a 1 morale check. So leader breaks and the squad pins. Well, I'm glad that leader took that number because. So sniper activates. Sniper for the Greeks is over in J5. 6 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has to go here, which means he has one possible target. So he will wound the leader and kill him. So this leader dies, and then these guys have to take a morale check. So one guy's reduced, and the other guy's fine. Wow. I forget if they are DM'd. I think they are. I think they are from the shot. So those guys are prepped. It might be, because Starter Kit does simplify certain things, so I wouldn't be too surprised if that was the case. Okay, so this is getting kind of bad for the Italians. Losing that leader's just, that's real bad. What else to do? I do have options here. I could do, what is that? Oh, it's just a 5. 5 up 2? No, I'm not going to take a shot. I think I'm just going to try and wait it out here. We'll go to movement phase, which honestly I don't really need to do movement phase. I can take off all these CXs, which is really nice. So all these CXs go away. I'm going to assault move one guy into DD2. Or... No, yeah, he'll go to DD2. I think that's fine. As is. Is there any other movement phase I want to do? I think I can... No, I don't think I'm allowed to. I think I have to wait. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. Defensive fire phase. In the defensive fire phase, I'm going to try H9 to I5. Huzzah. Range is 5, so it is an 8. That is up 2, sorry. There should be one hindrance. How are they not marking the hindrance? Should that not... If there's hindrance here, that's the same range. This should be hindrance. Oh, it's this weird bug. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there's a hindrance. That's fine. So there's one hindrance. And then it's... I believe the height advantage also comes into play. Range is not going to give a +1 or anything. So... 7, so 1 check on the guy outside the foxhole. He is ELR'd and broken, and the guy in the foxhole, it's an extra +1. So it becomes a +3, which turns into a pin test check. And the guy's pinned. Alright, this is not going too well. But so are the ways of ASL. I'm going to try a 2 up 2. Whammied. So no effect. And then that's kind of it. I don't really have any other shots that are kind of worth taking here. I could do... Well, the 2... No, that's just... I feel like it's 2 up 1 and 2 up 3. It's not really going to work. Advanced fire phase, none. There's just none I need or want to do. In terms of routes getting kind of crazy here. I'm going to move these guys. These guys don't need to be here anymore. 2-4. The guy who is broken is going to route back. I can do 1, 2, 4. Then this broken leader doesn't have to move. But I want... Yeah, I'm going to want it. So, I can see this guy. I don't know... Is that same range? Range 7, range 7. Okay. Yeah, it's same range. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. It's all part of one paragraph. So a strange leader may use a leader. Yeah. So because it says may. No, it's fine. It's honestly, these are, like I said, that's why I like when questions get asked. Um, the paragraph, because the paragraph always it starts with it may use leadership DRM to modify. You like the direction is different from preventing cowering, because you can still direct, but you don't need to use the DRM. That's the important part of it. If it said that a leader must use his leadership DRM to modify that you were, doing a leader direction and all that, then the +1 would apply and must apply. But because of the may usage, the understanding that I have, and I think the community has, not that I want to speak for the whole community, is yeah, it wouldn't apply. So that's routes, and then these guys didn't get DM'd, which is fine. Advances for the Italians. So I'm gonna be aggressive here, and I'm gonna hopefully not die. It might happen. It might happen, and if it does, it'll have been fun. So I'm gonna advance, take all these stone buildings because stone buildings are great. This 136 is gonna go to the foxhole, and this guy's pinned, so can't do anything. And these guys are just where they are. There's no CC, so we will go to Greek turn 3. Weather, no change. In the rally phase, actually, let me choose to help. Right, yeah, and that's where, and that's I think where the confusion comes in, and why I believe the community, at least like the people that I trust with like charts and stuff, have said that the May is just for the leadership DRM, not whether or not they can direct the fire. So yeah, I got to take out pins. Pins is they're out. Rally phase. So in the rally phase, I got to do the self rally first. Okay, the Greeks have been very lucky. This guy can't field promote, and I think that just means that he doesn't get heat of battle. Because I think you must field promote on the first one. Field promotion. First MMC. Oh, it's the MMC. Yeah, okay. So then he would heat a battle because it's not an MMC. Cool. So that guy heats a battle, which means double die roll 7. What do we got here? Heat of battle. He is allied minor and broken, so there's a +3 to that roll, which means it's a 10. That guy goes berserk. Can he see anybody? That is a great question. Yes. So he does have a target. So that guy is now a 6-10. or sorry, a 10 + 1 in terms of his abilities, which is crazy. Oh yeah, honestly, ELR is that's one of the tricky things. I find ELR, maybe it's just the people I play, or when I look at games, I find that in a lot of instances, it again, maybe I'm not looking at the right stuff, but ELR feels like it gets overlooked. Rally over here, the guy comes back. Man, the Greeks at least have been really lucky on their rallies. The Italians don't have any rallies to do. And this guy is going to attempt to pick up a machine gun, which he is successful, which is good. And that's it. That's it for rally phase. Prep fire. In the prep fire phase, I didn't forget that at the end of my turn. Oh yeah. Thankfully, in Vassal, it at least is a little easier to double check because ELR is just flat number type idea, and like. As an example, the Greeks have 8 morale and an ELR of 4, right? So unless I'm rolling terribly, like almost casualty reduction, 12s, they're not. It's rare for them to do that. Yeah, exactly. And like if you ever play long games or whatever, if you do log files for your games, that also really helps if you like double check afterwards or whatever. Prep fire phase, I don't really have much I can do. That'd be a 4 up 3, that'd be crazy. Um I don't think I can waste more time. I think these guys have to move. I will try a 4 up 3. No. Damn it. Damn it. That was probably my one chance. These guys are going to have an impossible time. Although this guy is Berserk, which does help slightly, which is nice, but that's going to be painful. I don't have any other shots, I don't think. Movement phase. In the movement phase, this guy loses CX, which is great. And then I'm going to... There's no good way to do this. This sucks. If I can't assault move up here. Yeah, I'm going to assault move to K7. I'm going to regret this. Medium machine gun shoots. That is doubled. It's a -1 for open ground. So 5 on 8, which I hope that's... Is that a 5 on 8? Is a 2 check. That sucks. All right, that guy's pinned. Could have been a way worse. And he's got rate of fire. So I won't mark him. He's also not in a woods hex, so he's not locked on where he can go, which is good. First 458 in H9 declares CX, goes to H8 for 1, H7 for 4 total, and then 5 to I7. I don't like these guys coming in, so 3 down 2. 5 on 3 is a normal, I believe. 5 on 3, normal, yeah. This guy breaks. CX goes away, so that's a benefit, I guess. 1 residual. Okay, next guy CX's. What do I want to do here? I can do 1, 2, 3. No, I can't even go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can't even go up. Nah, I just want to CX him. That's my only space to go, really. Yeah, I forgot that guy's half squad. Leader and the half squad are gonna declare CX. 1, 2, 3. And then that's 5. It's 2 for woods, doubled to 4, +1 for 5 because of ground snow. So yeah, 8 total gets there. This medium machine gun is not restricted, so I will take a shot as a 4 flat. No. Okay. He's first fired now. And there's technically 2 residual. Okay, now the side I'm dreading, which actually technically I should have done Berserk first. Doesn't matter. The Berserk has 1 place to go, and it wouldn't have affected any other shots. So Berserk. Berserks must go first. Again, in at least in certain games, whoever you're playing, it does not matter if these guys aren't affected, which is what that Berserk guy has to go towards. It doesn't matter, and this guy can't hit him. So Berserk has to go first. So he has 8 movement, I believe, as a Berserk. Let me double... where's my counter? Sometimes it's also easier just to have the counters out. Bonsai, no. Heat about. Berserk. So 8 movement factors. And 10 morale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets there. I don't trust this at all. So I'm going to blast him. It is 16. Is that 16 firepower? That's yeah, that is 16 firepower down 2. So 6 on 16 is a 2 morale check. He's fine. But I guess the good thing is that there is residual, of which there would be 6. This guy's gotten here for 5. He can jump in, of which I will then take a subsequent shot, which is triple point blank fire. So triple, then halved. We're looking at 18, 24, 12, up to, I believe, which is a pin task check, which Berserks can't pin. So they are now like that. There is just another 6 residual, and they are technically marked CC, but we'll get to that afterwards. Which is great because now these guys have at least some freedom of movement. I'm going to have one squad declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think he sees them. 6. Yeah. And then this guy's going to declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this guy will just normal move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will not take a shot. 6 up 1. Do I do a 6 up 1? Yeah, you know what? Because it's a leader. 8 on 6 is nothing. Boo. Oh, sorry, it's a pin test check. Won't matter. Yeah, it didn't matter. Boo. Okay. And then there's technically 2 residual. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's all the movement. Defensive fire phase. I've already shot most everybody. I will shoot the MMG second time. Oof. I need to remember some stuff. So, one thing that always gets me is this marked here. Oh, it doesn't show up there? Hold on. That doesn't. How does that not show up there? Why would that not be multiple field of fire, fire lane? Where? Sustained fire. Oh, it's just okay. Yeah. Okay, so so sustained fire. That's something I find I always forget. I know I always forget, and that's a big problem because sustained fire drops your breakdown number by 2, which is, you know, again, you can break. I think a lot of MMGs or MGs in general would break more often if you remembered sustained fire. I never do, and so it doesn't matter here because I rolled really well. But that's a 4 on 4, which I believe is just a 1 check. And he's pinned a second time, which is really, that's unfortunate because that would have been cool to break him and have less to deal with. Residuals come out. Advanced fire phase. He's pinned and halved. It'd be a 2 up 2. It's not worth it. Is there anybody else? Can't take the defensive off. Not really. Like, that's also 2 up 2. That's worse. 1 up 2. Yeah, I don't really have anything. This guy, the 6-1, can't do anything because he's berserk. If by some chance he had firepower, if he was like a hero, which I don't recall if heroes can berserk, they probably can. Yeah, so, you know, there's just not a case where that happens. Actually, I don't think heroes or berserks. Yeah, berserks can't heat a battle, and neither can heroes. So I don't know if there's a way. Actually, yeah, you probably is one weird way to get a berserk hero. But anyways, yeah. So yeah. Sustained fire is like I said, is crazy because I definitely know I've forgotten about sustained fire. I just go, oh yeah, subsequent, and then like, you know, you roll terribly and you don't remember the -2 on the breakdown. But yeah, anyways, this berserk guy can't shoot, has no targets, and this 458's not gonna bother. This guy already shot. This guy has no targets, and all these are bad. So we'll go to route phase. We'll take out some counters here. This guy is technically allowed to go into this hex, But because there's an MMG and this guy can't move, I don't trust it. So I'm going to I8. I really don't trust it. I feel like that's just going to screw me over. None of the Italians are DM'd, so they don't have to do anything. We go to advances. Now I have these guys here. Do I try to save a 6-1 in a giant calamity? Or do I go for a 3-4-6? My heart tells me to go for the 3-4-6. It would be a 1-2, whereas this would be worse. Would it be 1-1? That's 7? That would be worse. Okay, I'm gonna hope and pray here. We're gonna do this, and yeah, we're gonna hope and pray. You go into the woods. It's dangerous, but I gotta make moves. You're gonna go up. I'm gonna send a half squad up. He's gonna be CX. This leader is CX, but he's gonna go down and try to rally. And actually, can this guy do this? No, he can't. He has to. If I'm going to go up next to a guy, I would have to go here, which it would be insane. Probably insane. I'm not gonna move him. He's just gonna stay where he is. Everybody else is moved. Yeah. So we go to CC phase. The interesting thing about CC is if a unit starts in or did not advance, you do not get ambush chance. Is my understanding of the rules. So over here, I have a really, like, this leader can only do 1-4. Yeah, his only options are 1-4. And he would be +1. So I would need to roll Snake Eyes. I am not confident in this, so I will declare hand-to-hand. Do I need to be Greek partisan unit? Okay, so it does not matter. I will declare hand-to-hand, and I will go against the leader and squad with the LMG, because I need the better odds. And the Italians are just all against 1, so it doesn't matter. So the Greeks failed. They're not getting anything out of it. The Italians are 6-1, so I need anything but a 12. All right, that was really close. So Berserk 6-1 dies. This CC goes away. And then over here, there is ambush chance. So Greeks and then Italians. Wow. There is no ambush despite the Greeks getting a -1 because of their leader. The Greeks are at a 3-2 because they're 5-3. So they will have a 3-2. I'm not going to declare hand-to-hand. Do I declare if I... This is a nasty dilemma. If I declare hand-to-hand and I mess it up for whatever reason, I'm hosed. If I don't declare hand-to-hand and don't succeed, I'm also still hosed. Because I'm still not on level 3. And is it at any time? Yeah, as long as you're unbroken. Which seems kind of strange. You'd think it'd be like good order, because those guys just... You can be CC and you would still get LOS and get the reinforcements. So... yeah. May as well try to take down some with you then. Yeah, I know. It's just, I feel like if I attempt the hand-to-hand and it does not succeed, because the thing is, hand-to-hand is not so much that you have a better killing power sometimes, it's that you have a better dying power. Because to try and like give the math on this, so as a 3-2, they can get a kill on a 6. Normally it'd be casualty reduction, but they are a -1 leader, so rolling a 6 or below gets them a kill. Getting a 7, casualty reduction, that's cool. If I go hand-to-hand, those numbers change to an 8 for a kill and a 9 for a result. The problem is that the Italians are, with no hand-to-hand, they need a 3 to kill and a 4 for a result, or a 5 to kill and a 6 for a result. And, you know, law of averages and all that. So it's kind of like it's nice to get that +2 for the Greeks, but yeah, screw it. We'll ball. We'll just try and see how this goes. So they needed an 8 for a kill, so they will get a kill. On the flip side, Italians won't get anything. All right, so they are gone. This goes away. That doesn't necessarily put me at ease, but it's better than nothing. Italian turn 3. Pins come off. Weather, no change. Rally phase. So in the rally phase, I'm going to try and self-rally the guy with the LMG. I will not get it. That sucks. If I had the leader, I would have gotten. Yeah, I would have gotten it. Damn it. Okay. Greeks. Rally. No effect. And I think that's it. Is that an and or an or? Yeah, it's an and. Okay. Cool. Prepar phase. Yeah. Honestly, like, there's... as the Italians, I need to prevent them getting on level 3 anyways. And the right side, like, this kind of sucks. But it's... Yeah. I'm going to take a big ol' shot on the guys in this building. It's +2 shot, but as previously mentioned, it is a 16 firepower shot because it is 6 firepower from each squad, +4 for the LMG. So +2, 7 on 16 is a 2 morale check. That could be bad, and they survived. All right. I do have rate of fire. I will shoot 4 up 2. The 5 on 4 should be 1 check. They're fine. All right. 2 great rolls and 2 in response. Next up, Foxhole guy in I5 shoots at the CX guy in H4. That is a 6 up 1, 6 on 6, 1 morale check. This guy is pinned, so it won't really do anything. Oops. And this is where the high morale really comes in. Yeah, this is where the high morale is really starting to kick in, because when they don't break, that's when the problem starts. Medium machine gun against the guy adjacent. I will break the machine gun. No, why did I do that? Flip. That's a bummer. This is probably... Yeah, this might actually turn into a Greek victory if things keep going poorly for the Italians. Movement phase. None. I can't move the prisoners, and I don't have anybody else that could do anything. So in return, 8 up 2, it's a pin tash check. Those guys are pinned, which doesn't mean anything. 4 up 2, no effect. This guy's pinned plus 4 up 3. I'm sad that I actually got a result. So they got a pin tash check, but no effect. Over here, I will try an 8 up 4. Nope. And then trying to bait out some bad rolls here. And then an 8 up 2. Normal morale check. This might actually turn the game here. Leader's fine. Squad is broken. And squad is fine. Wow. The Italians are... This get crazy. So these guys are first fired. Blah, blah, blah. Advanced fire phase. None. Routes. Now routes is a bigger question here. I only really have 1. So this broken squad is going to go to DD2. It's the only move he can make because he does not have... it takes him 5 movement points to get there. Otherwise, there's no effect. Oh, I can be... Okay. I have to risk things. Are the Italian a hybrid? Yeah, yes. The Italian MMGs break on 11. It's very similar to the miners. Miners tend to have higher break numbers, or lower break numbers, I should say. And typically that's all B11s. It's very rare to see a B10. I think there's one or 2, but I forget. So in the advanced phase, I am going to have the guy in the foxhole jump out to H4. And similarly, I'm going to go after the guy in CX. That's the only advances I can do. We go to CC. We'll do the pin CX guy first. So I go in here, ambush, so Italians. Greeks. Unfortunately, the Greeks will not get an ambush. The Italians are at 1-2. Down 1 because of the down 1 because of CX, which will be a casualty reduction. And meanwhile, the Greeks are 1-1, up 1, which means they will miss. So they instantly get punished for, I will say hubris, but that's definitely not it. And then over here, same idea, ambush. So Italians get a 2, Greeks have a 4, that goes up by 1 for CX. So they are ambushed. It is a 1-1 for the Italians, down 1, no effect. And then 1-1, up 1, no effect. This turns into a melee. The HMG? Russian? HMG? Nope. They're all 11s, but the 50 cals do look like they look weird. Because they say 50 on them, but yeah, nothing there breaks unless there's a special module or whatever. But anyways, so yeah, these two CCs become melee. There's nothing that they can do about that, which is not super great for the Greeks. We go to turn 4. Weather check, no change. We can take off our pins here. The Greeks have 1 rally to attempt, and they will get it because that CX does not modify anything. And the Italians have nothing they can do outside of a repair, which they do not get. I needed a 2 or less. So we go to prep fire phase, 8 up 2. Really good roll. 5 on 8, I think, is a 2 check, is what I've done before. This guy breaks, does not ELR, which is important. Sniper doesn't activate, also super important. If that sniper had activated, that would have been really bad. Is there anything else to do for prep fire? No. Everybody else is occupied. So, movement phase. So, this guy loses CX in J7. He goes up to K7 for 3, and then 4 into L6. The squad in H6 goes, he can't make it, so he goes to H5 for 1, and then 2, 3, 4 to I5. He has finally, the Greeks have finally made it to level 3 with LOS. What are my rules here? So, as soon as an unbroken Greek MMC enters a level 3 hex with an LOS to any building location, the Greek player gets partisan reinforcement DRs on each and every Greek player turn rally phase as follows. So it's only on the rally phase. And only on the Greek player's turn. So they get, there's a chance for 3 rolls, which could be worse. Their Greek SAN, the SAN also goes up by 2, so I need to increase their SAN to a 4. There we go. Yes, flamethrowers are also always 10x, and DCs are the other one where they're X12, and it's strange because X12 is just weird. Normally it's B12s rather than X12s. Okay, so they've done their move. They've done their 4. This stack in I8 loses CX. I need them to move. This guy technically loses CX. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, wow, that's terrible. And do I see it? If I had CX'd him? No, I'm just not going to take that risk. And then over here, this CX does go away. Do I wait and try to kill them in CC? Yes. I'm going to have these guys assault move. That will DM this squad, which is good. I want that, at the very least. And that's all the moves. Defensive fire phase. None? Nobody can shoot. Nobody has any shots. I guess there's a world where you have 2 half squads, and the third one at least can like help out with more stuff. Yeah, the X12 like being a dud really sucks. Actually, in a thing to keep in mind too is technically a flamethrower on like a 10. The flamethrower has no fuel left, but you still, I believe, you still get the shot. So in certain cases, even if you roll a 10 and lose the flamethrower, you still are getting a good enough shot that you still get an effect out of it. I believe it's the same thing with any breaks or whatever. Like I think you still, unless I've got that mixed up in my brain, I'm pretty sure you still get the effect. It's just not as good an effect, and you lose the weapon. Yeah, it's something. I'm pretty sure because I know like cowering, like you can still cower and break, and I'm pretty sure you can still get other stuff. Breakdown. Where does it say malfunction? Yeah, whenever a sport weapon jam run out of ammunition, each subsequent blah, blah, you have a breakdown an X number. Um, Whenever a sport weapon participates in an attack in which the original IFT resolution is equal, so the sport weapon malfunctions and is the attack which caused the breakdown is still resolved, but no subsequent fires allowed from the sport weapon, etc., etc. This is, if you're looking at the full rulebook, A9.7. So you still get the effect. You just don't, you obviously lose the sport weapon. And I know I've played it before where like I'm kicking and screaming because I lose like an MNG or an HMG I really want, and I don't calculate the number even if it's like a -2 or -3, which if you're 9 on 12 is still a normal morale check type idea. Um, Yeah, the -1 really can be a pain in the ass. Honestly, like if you can ever get them in stone buildings, you should be fine, but definitely not always the case. So yeah, no defensive fire phase because everybody's occupied. Advanced fire, I don't really need to be honest. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. Routes. The Italians have to route. Unfortunately, they can't route with the guy in K6. He must become a prisoner. And I think in the spirit of things, the Greeks are going to refuse. So no quarter is in effect. I'm going to remove this MMG because they would not be able to repair it anyways. Yeah, War of the Rats is really nice for showing off flamethrowers. And I'm pretty sure you get at least one DC. I feel like you should get one DC. No quarter. So no quarter in effect, declared by the Allies. Oh, that's right. They do use those counters. I will point out that this counter exists because, and that is used by the LFT snare card. I'm not using it because that's silly. Although I guess technically they are different from regular prisoners. So I will use some green prisoner counters instead. Just because I don't really care for a literal schoolgirl counter is weird. Anyways, route phase. These guys will route 2, 4, 6, get some distance, and that's it. Advances. Now, advances is important here. So I want to try and prevent this from getting out of hand. This guy has to CX if he advances, and this guy can advance, but I'm not going into the foxhole, so he will not. Well, I don't need to go in the foxhole anyway, so he's just not going to, which is fine. And these guys are going to jump into that melee. And we go to CC. Okay, in the CC phase, this is a 6-3. It is a 2-1. I don't need to declare hand-to-hand there. Over here, yeah, 2-1. I'm not going to declare hand-to-hand. Yeah. One thing to think about with DCs is if you have the chance to smoke with the squad, because for a lot of cases you'll put a DC on like a engineer squad or whatever, and they'll have like a smoke exponent of 2 or 3 or 4 in some cases. If you can smoke the hex, it can help you out on that one, especially if you're already adjacent. You smoke your own hex and then you place the DC. A great way to think about it, honestly, is DC counts the hex that you're placing it in, or from, not within. So, for example, if you're placing a DC from this stone building into this woods hex, you get the +3 for the stone building if you get shot at, not the +1 from the woods, which seems counterintuitive, but yeah, it's really, if you can take advantage of that, it's really good. All right. Oh, I'm going to do this left to right. So 2-1 for the Greeks. They will get a kill. Again, I'm not doing hand-to-hand. And the Italians are going to do 3-2 because it's just better. And I'm glad I did not do 1-2. So both sides will lose a unit. That melee goes away. Over here, the Greeks are doing a 2-1 down 1. They will get a kill. Wow. And then the Italians are doing 1-1 against this squad because why not? And they will not succeed. So yeah, this is not looking good. Granted, their objective requires them to still like get guards and you know clear out the prisoners, but it's not good. That's it for CC. Turn 4 Italians. Weather no change. Yeah, honestly, it's hard to whether or not you stack is a really tough call, and I find you'll really only like truly quote unquote understand it after playing a lot. Turn 4 Italians, they do get reinforcements. They get 3 whole squads and a super duper leader, which is great. So they, well, I say super duper, but he's an 8-1. But honestly, the Italians will take whatever they can freaking get at this point. 8-1, 3 squads. They all come in from board 42 north edge on a single road or path hex, which means that they can either come in from R8, R5, or R3. I'm going to come in from R8 because that makes just the most sense. And as mentioned before, there is a road hex side between R8 and I don't know what that would be. S8. Which also, while I'm here, I'm just going to put a... I'm just going to do this because I'm tired of seeing it that way. There you go. Cool. So those guys will come in from off board. They're technically concealed. I already did weather. Yeah, exactly. Compared to the 6-1, 8-1 is or 6+1 versus 8 down 1. I am going to try my luck because this guy's DM. He'll probably get to route again. I'm gonna try my luck. Didn't get it. Damn it. Well, it wouldn't have mattered for that guy anyways. Okay, cool. We go to prep fire phase. None. Easy. I'm going to declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can't go. Well, no, that would still be the same. Yeah, they'll just get to 7 and stay there. I have to wait a turn. I can now move those prisoners, which is also dope. Okay, so that's it. Well, actually, yeah, no, because I can. I'll just wait till advanced. Doesn't matter. Defensive, none. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes. This guy technically lost DM. I should not have kept that on. Nothing. Advances. I am going to move everybody in the wooden building because it doesn't matter. And then advance. And then these guys also advance. So now we got 3 hexes occupied, which is great. Or hopefully will be great. I guess like if I go into this building, it's a little easier, I guess. Can't dash. Yeah, I'll just keep it as this. Especially like only single level buildings, doesn't really matter. There's no CC. We go to turn 5 for the Greeks. Can I make it in 3 turns? Technically. Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. Would I would have split them differently too. Okay. I'm going to redo this because I forgot about this because I only talked about it at the start. So the partisans do get to like kind of pop up anywhere, which means if I was here for 7, I can continue for 8. So, oh yeah, and everybody can just do it. Yeah, so I would just go here, and then I would split one guy, and then this guy. And do it this way. There. That makes way more sense. Because in the rally phase, like I said, they are going to get their reinforced. Okay. Wind change, of which there is none, did not get wind change. That sucks. That would have been really good numbers too. Okay. So the yeah, reinforcement. So the Greek. So wait. Huh? Is it really on the wind die change? Is WDR really considered that? Am I crazy? Is WDR really for the wind change? So it's not a separate roll? You just count it for your wind? Oh. God, that's so weird for them to write it that way. I guess... Yeah, okay. God, that's so weird to write it that way. Why would you ever write it that way? Okay. So, they get a 2 die rolls. Okay. So they add 1 to the white die number on their first roll, which is a 5. And subtracts 1 to its white die roll if he receives a 3/3/7 on the preceding turn. Okay. The Greek player adds 1 to its colored die roll on each turn after his first reinforcement die roll until he receives an SMC. Partisan units are placed in building hexes, yada yada yada. So, a 6/5. Now this would be secret, and you would not know, and so on and so forth. So there'd be some stuff about that. But because that's not the case, and we're not going to worry about it, a white die roll of 5 increased to a 6 means that they will get a 3/3/7, and they will get a 1/2/7, as well as 2 concealment counters. Now, I'm still going to use the concealment counters because I can use them on the units, but it's important to know. And the colored 6 for the... that's crazy. Why would it say... Hold on. The Greek acts 1 to its colored die roll on each turn after his first. But why are you adding... until he receives a single man counter? But you would always get 1. That does not make any sense how that's written. Why would you add... the Greek player adds 1 to its colored die roll, non-cumulative, okay, whatever, on each turn after his first reinforcements DR. Okay. But that's still weird because you would still, no matter what, get reinforcements. And you still, no matter what, would get an SMC. That's strange. So it just means that 2 units show up and there's no... yeah, until, I guess, each turn after his first. Yeah, so I have to wait till turn 6 to get a leader. It's just weird the way that's written. And I guess, like, maybe the translation from French to English, because they are a French group. Which I'm not trying to say that to be mean against them, but I think that's what's going on here. So I get 2 units. I get to place them in building hexes, and as long as they are not, they must be placed in building hexes, and they cannot be adjacent to an Italian unit. So these AA5 and BB7 are both fine, so I will take them. And yeah, other rally phase action things. The Greeks don't have anything to do, and the Italians are all broken and have nobody that can do stuff with. Prep fire phase. I have nothing to do in the prep fire phase as the Greek side or the Allied side. Movement phase. This half squad will go to M5 and then N4. The squad in K6 will go. Will spend 3 to get to L3. I'm just doing this to get rid of some units, and frankly, I can't really like. I'm gonna have a. These guys actually can't make it to here. I don't think. So I'm not too worried about it. Is the case here? Guy in H4 declares CX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other guys, same idea. Bypass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get them all together. This group also declares CX. Bypass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this guy also DMs. And I'm going to assault move this guy here and assault move this guy there. And that way, only one guy has double firepower. Defensive fire phase, I don't care for. I really, honestly, do not care for shooting because it's stone building and 1 firepower and concealed is not worth it. These guys are technically DM'd. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes is interesting. So these guys die. There's just nothing that they can do. And no quarter's already in effect by them. So the LMG stays there, but that's it. This guy can not route. That's not... Technically, I don't think that's true. Well, does he see this guy? Does he see him? Why not? Oh, that's broken. Yeah, that LS is broken. I believe he would be able to see him. So he can't route to BB4. Not possible. He can't go up. There's no second floor. He cannot route... Yeah, honestly, the thing too to keep in mind is they only failure to route because no quarter is declared. Otherwise, they would become prisoners, and I think that's I forget if starter kit has prisoners. I don't think they do, and that I think is a habit that some people bring into into quote unquote full ASL. Yeah, so there's a lot more cases where you would get prisoners and not simply simplify it to everybody dies. So yeah, CC5 can't go to BB4 because he sees the guy in L3 on the other board. He can't technically he can't go towards this concealed guy in AA8, and he does not see this guy, but he's still getting closer because of BB5 to this. So I believe he is also a failure to route and eliminated because of no core. Maybe there's a... I could have low crawled because technically this is an unknown unit, but I don't really... I don't think it really is going to matter all that much. The Greeks can just bypass him, and at a 5 morale with DM, you're not... it's very rare to self-rally on that stuff. So, advances. I might as well try to take an LMG. This guy can go here to flip this guy back to DM. These guys will go up to BB1. You guys can go into a building. And we're going to try for some CC here. I have to hope that I don't kill the schoolgirls. That's a very weird thing for me to say. And I won't get demonetized on YouTube. For sure. Ah, man. At least I'm not playing ready or not. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. So, Z6 is going to go first. I'm just going to do top bottom. So, Greeks and Italians. The Greeks will get an ambush. Yeah, you know, the scenario marks them specifically as Greek schoolgirl prisoners. Just how LFT, how this, I mean, look, if we're being fair, this is, I'm sure this is an actual thing that happened. If I were to look up, if I look up Limni Konitsa, probably not on English YouTube, or English Wikipedia. Probably not. if I were to go to IT Italian, there's no way this is in Italian. Wikipedia would have this. No way. Limni Konitsa. Nope. Well, anyways, I'm sure somewhere there's a book in history about this, and that's pretty depressing when you think about it. Yeah, it is. I do agree. I like the DLC for it. I'm still trying to beat that game solo, which is kind of crazy. So the both sides get the same bonuses because they're both concealed, so they will both get +2s. So no matter what, the Greek side will get an ambush, which is great. They are at a 3-to-1 advantage, which means they need less. I'm going to declare hand-to-hand and hope. I did not get a double, which is great. So this half squad is eliminated, and this guy retains his concealment because he eliminated the unit, and the prisoners are now just quote-unquote empty or whatever. They're not possessed. Over in Z7, same idea. So Greeks and Italians will once again be ambushed, which is bad. And yeah, it's a 1-to-1 down 1, wouldn't matter. I'm declaring hand-to-hand because like there's no reason not to do that. And then the unit, the Italians are guarding, so the concealment counters will go away because the first guy was not successful. I need to do this. The guarded unit is halved, so technically it is a 1-to-2, but it is hand-to-hand, so 1-to-2 up 1, no. So this turns into a hand-to-hand melee, which is not great. And that's it for CC. Turn 5 Italians. Things are looking grim, I think is the best way to put it. This might turn into an Italian loss, if I'm being honest. We'll see, but it's not looking good. So, rally phase. I have a self-rally. I might as well try. It didn't work. DM stays on. And Greeks will attempt to pick up an LMG. They are successful. They will attempt to pick up a second LMG. They are not successful. A second unit will try. They are successful. I don't believe you're limited to 1 per weapon. I think it's 1 per squad. Yeah, same thing happened to me. I beat the entire game with all the DLC before, I think the two most recent ones. And I'd beaten them all on whatever the hardest difficulty was, with S ranks everywhere. And then one of the DLCs came out and wiped all of my hard difficulty progress or whatever because they changed the difficulty. Yeah, honestly, the Italians, like, if the Italians needed, like, 1 more turn of really good shots, and the Greeks needed 1 more turn of bad morale checks, or bad rallies. I think rallies is what really got them into the position they're in. But nothing else in the rally phase. I'm not doing anything in the prep fire phase, so we'll go straight to movement. This gang will lose their CX, which is great. I am just going to throw them 1, 2, 3. I believe they will lose concealment. It doesn't matter. They'll lose it in. Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll lose concealment anyways once they get into CC or whatever. This guy loses his CX. He's gonna lose concealment again or as well. We're gonna bypass 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna try and just filter in there. And then this gang is going to declare dash into Y8. I will take a shot at them. Not successful, because this would be halved and still down 2. Well, yeah, it is a 5 on 1.5, which I think is just, yeah, PTC. Pin test check. He's fine. And this guy's pinned. That sucks. But I will take, I'll take an 8-1 into a building for sure. Okay, I believe that's it for movement. Defensive, this guy's already shot, so nothing else. Nobody else really is going to do anything. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes. This guy has to route. He sees these guys, but he can. He can technically. Does this get him closer? Probably does. 5, 4. Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's also eliminated. No, he's not. He can. He can low crawl. He's gonna low crawl to I3. And I believe he can because no quarter is in effect. If no quarter was not declared, because this is open ground, I believe he would be forced to surrender. But I don't think it's the case right now. Victory condition is the Greeks win at game end if 2 or more OB given prisoner squad counters are not stacked with Italian guard or guards, and if there are no unbroken Italian MMCs in buildings overlay 6Z6 and overlay 6CC5. Now CC5 over on this side, it's this the essentially the 3 hex building there, and then the Z6 is this 3 hex building here. So not only do the Greeks have to attempt to save the prisoners, but they also have to prevent the Italians from getting in anywhere. And that's kind of what you can be kind of sneaky with the prisoners, because you can start moving them on turn 4, so you can move them into this other building if you really want to, or go to other spaces and whatnot. So you can really kind of split the attention of the Greeks in that sense. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily that you have to clear the building, because it's no unbroken, so you can still technically shoot at them a bunch and hope to break them. That's not going to happen generally because of stone buildings, but regardless. So yeah, route phase, this guy manages to survive. We go to advances. I'm just going to go crazy with it because I do not trust things. I do not trust myself to survive these, and I would rather have overwhelming force than anything else. That's it for advances. CC phase, there is 1 CC. It is hand-to-hand. Unfortunately for the Greeks, it's just they're not going to have much going on here. So in CC, I have 8, so it's an 8-to-1 with at least a -1 on hand-to-hand, which means unless I roll a 12, I think technically. So the Greek unit is gone. I will still target the half squad because it makes the most sense for a 1-to-1. Sadly, an 11 will not succeed there. So, yeah. Also, I think a thing to point out is there's a lot of value in stacking units in with the prisoners. Like if I hadn't been locked in CC, because of the way that the map is right now and where the Greeks are, like the Greeks are really just going to come down from the right side, and maybe you charge like up in the middle technically, but that does take up more time because of going uphill. But the big thing realistically, as we go to turn 6 and there's no weather change, the big thing really is that if I'm forcing, if this 337 shoots in here, you cannot avoid shooting at a prisoner. You shoot at all the contents of the hex, right? So barring different location stuff and whatever, but for all intents and purposes, if you shoot this 327 in here, there is a possibility, however great your result is, that you take out the prisoners, because if they fail a morale check, they do not break. They are simply reduced. I don't... That's a great question. I don't think so. I forget if prisoners count towards stacking. I don't think they do, but... Because technically they're counted as a different... like a... Not support weapon, technically, but... Prisoners... Of course it's the bottom page. Value, capture, route phase, CC... No quarter, guard, stacking. A single guard can guard prisoners, total blah, 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 blah. Overstacking penalties never applied to prisoners, although they apply to their guards if the captor's side, excluding prisoners, is overstacked. So, yeah, the prisoners don't count for overstacking themselves, but can, uh, and yeah, like overstacking doesn't not only doesn't apply to prisoners, but they aren't technically counted towards overstack status as well. Is weird. I'm actually not quite sure why that's the case, if I'm being completely honest. One, like, you kind of should be penalized anyways, but also, we're talking about, like, if you have a squad, one squad can technically have 5 squads of prisoners with them because it's 5 times the unit size number. So, like, why would they not overstack? Um, like, kind of, but the thing is, like, these prisoners technically don't count for the other side as well. Like, if you understand what I'm trying to say, like, I don't know if a empty or like vacant prisoner applies for the side that they are technically on. Like, they're just kind of a nebulous concept, and it's just weird because, like, in this certain scenario, you might be compelled to shoot in, and the overstacking penalties would be advantageous to potentially take out the Italians, but you're also running that higher risk of killing prisoners because of the extra overstack. So maybe it's to prevent guard prisoners dying too frequently, or maybe there's something like, like a diminishing value on like your returns. Like, imagine the goal doesn't include prisoners, but like your side just does not want to lose points for the minus. Maybe, I don't know. There's something about it there, but I don't necessarily know what it is. Anyways, rally phase, nothing happens. Prep fire phase, I am not insane enough to take a 6 up 3 because, again, that's seems like it'd be really bad. I don't have a prep fire phase to do, so we'll go to movement. I will declare CX with the half squad. There's no way in hell that... Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot. 3 flat. 5 on 3, I think, is a normal. So this guy's pinned. Glad I remember that. Anyways, CX. I don't think this guy can actually participate in here anymore because I've only got 2 turns. So I am going to spend some time here. 1, 2... 2 in bypass, or sorry, I can't bypass. 2, 3, bypass 4, 5. And then this guy, like, same problem. Like, oh, I didn't do partisans. Okay, sorry. Huzzah. They don't get a +1. They do get a -1 because they got a 337. So that goes down to a sorry. That goes down to a 4 on the white die roll. So you get 2 half squads. Which doesn't really matter because I can't... I guess I can technically do some stuff here. So these guys are going to do this. Huzzah. And then in prep fire phase, I will shoot. No. But this guy is surrounded. Is it here? Circled. Huzzah. They're prepped. Cool. And then the colored die roll was a 3, which goes up by 1 after first reinforcements. Colored die roll is 4, which means I get a hero. Which I'm going to place the hero on this side because he go here. There. I technically got concealment counters with it. They would have just gone on the half squads. And I'm just shooting anyways, doesn't matter. Cool. Yeah, so movement phase, CX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't go any further. These guys lose CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These guys lose CX. This I gotta be careful here because of line of sight. 1, 2, Yeah, there's no good spot for me to go. I'm gonna be daring here. 3-4, and then these guys will shoot. It is 6 up 1, so 10 on 6, no effect. These guys have shot. I don't really have anybody else to shoot with. Yeah, no. Advanced fire phase, none, realistically. Yeah, nothing. Routes, there's no routes that, well, I mean, this guy gets to route here, and then he can't go into this woods any further, so he's just stuck there. I guess technically, like, it's in hexes, not movement factors, I think, so I could be wrong on that one, but that doesn't, I don't think that matters, because I don't think you can get 1, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no, he could actually get there. If it's hex, if it's movement factors, then he can get there. So he'll do that. Otherwise, there's no other routes. Advances. Yeah, we're gonna balls to the walls here. We're gonna try and occupy. You know what? You guys go there. I just need to occupy these guys as much as possible here, and try and succeed. So you guys all do this. You can go here. You can go here. I think this guy's out of the game regardless. And yeah. CC. There is 1 CC, despite all the movement. Ambush chance. So Greeks and Italians. The Italians are ambushed again, which is kind of insane to think about. I am going to target the 347 squad as a 1-to-1 down 1. No effect. Damn it. Yeah, no effect. The Italians are going to just attack with the guys that don't have the prisoners, because it doesn't really matter for them. That is a 2-to-1 flat. They will get a kill. That sucks. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. Alright, turn 6 Italians. Weather, no change. There are decidedly no things that need to be done for rallies. I mean, I guess technically... Alright, well, it didn't matter. Whatever. Lose your DM, you nerd. Alright. Prepare phase. I have 1 shot at this, so I'm going to have Z7 target the stack with the hero, because if I can kill that unit, I think that's going to be great. That is a 12 up 1, so it's a 5 on 12 and potential allied sand. So let's do this the shot first. 5 on 12 is a 2 morale check. Hero is fine, and the squad will break, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. But I can still combine the hero, so not the end of the world. No sniper activation, no rate of fire or anything like that. That's it for prep. Movement phase. This encircled guy is going to normal move to Y8. Why normal move, you ask? Well, because he's encircled, or was encircled, he must pay double cost to get out of the hex to whatever new hex he's going to. There's a world where, you know, maybe I declare going into this open hex, so I only pay 2, but that's also insane. So I'm going to take the opportunity, because these guys suck anyways. They failed. I wasn't going to get anything out of it anyways. That's it for movement. Defensive. I'm going to fire group this entire gang. You know what? I don't know if this hero can apply it if he's not stacked with a leader. I don't know how the heroic DRM comes in. So I'm gonna just shoot AA6, AA7 into Z7. I don't care about the losses at this point. I need this to go well. And I don't think it will at this rate. So it is a 16 up 2. So 9 on 16 is a 1 morale check. Right, 1 morale check. This could make a break. 1 morale check. Leader first. He breaks. Squad breaks. Other squad is fine. Prisoners, they are halved. So break, break, and the guards to those also break. So one guy manages to pass, and that's bad. That is bad. Bad, 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 bad. All right, advanced fire phase, none. That's not true. 3 flat. 6 on 3 is a pin test check. Yeah, he's pinned. Which, that's interesting. I might actually want to go in and try to kill that guy. No, that's probably too silly. Okay, routes. This is what I was worried about. So, in the route phase, these guys have to route. They cannot see this unit. That's not true. They can. Oh, no, wait. This is the... Yeah. They can't see it because of that, huh? Yeah. That's so close. I think it does technically not see through there. Does this see... Yeah, like, this would actually be on the center. I think this is blocked. I think that's one of those cases where the own building counterintuitively blocks view. This is important because it means that these guys can route, but these guys are going to drop their prisoners, and yeah, like, they don't technically know that those guys are there, so I'm going to... Wow, yeah. I'm gonna low crawl. Yeah, I'm gonna low crawl. Because if I don't low crawl, they'll get interdicted. And interdiction does not care about firepower. Just that you could apply firepower period without some modifications. And as a result, they would all take interdiction, and their morale sucks. If these guys were like 7 morale guys, I'd risk it, but it's not the case. So that's it for routes. There's nothing to do on the Greek side. Advances, I mean, oh, you know what? That is cute. I can do that. Yeah, that is technically a thing I can do. And now they've got to fight for every hex. Oh, I forgot about this guy. This guy needs to route there. Okay, CC phase none. I'm not silly enough to try for it. And we go to last turn Greeks, which is a wild thing to say considering how this scenario started. So last turn for the Greeks. Weather was no change. I will do their self rally. They will not get it. And then their reinforcement stuff. Wow, I've been rolling super well. I technically get a -1 because white die. Yeah, that's still -1. So they will get another 2 half squad partisans. Where do I put them? Here. And here. I think that's the play. I mean, I don't really have much else. Over here, self-rally. Didn't get it. All right, so these guys are screwed. They're going to be DM'd anyways. Prep fire phase. 16 up 2. Wow. 6 on 16. 2 morale check. That could actually be really bad. 2 morale check. Squad breaks. And wow. Do I have choice of who goes first? Because if I have choice, I would... I don't know why I would not pick... I'm superstitious about that. Do I have choice if shooting at a prisoner stack? That's a great question. I don't know where I would look right now, so whatever. Yeah, so anyways. This guy breaks. The prisoners are fine. These guys are prep fired. I am going to take my chances again. 8 up 2. Shit. Alright. That's not so good. I don't have any other shots to make, to be honest. Movement phase. In the movement phase, this guy loses CX. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 down 2. Cowers to 1. That's still 2-on-1, which is a 1 morale check on the 458. He's fine. Greek sniper, Italian sniper. It doesn't matter. He's going to target this CX guy and break him. That's a bummer. I guess in a way I am glad I didn't move that half squad first, but it sucks. He's first fired. Next up, assault move to X7. I will take a shot. 1 down 2, nothing. All right, no, so he's basically useless at this point. 1, 2. I'll subsequent with this guy. Why not? 3 down 2. Sorry, I cowered, which means I still get that shot, but I will double cower again. So it's a 6 halved for subsequent, and then double cowers off, which that sucks. You will assault move. You will assault move. You didn't get back. 2, 4. Yeah. Okay. Defensive fire phase. Everybody's shot. There's really nothing I can do more, especially because these guys are guarding. So, advanced fire phase. I'm not gonna risk it. Routes in the route phase. This is like make or break essentially at this point. So in the route phase, these guys are eliminated for failure to route. Technically, I should be doing this. So those guys are eliminated for failure to route. These guys all eliminated for failure to route. Like there's a world, like they can technically route back to Z7, then they see these guys adjacent, can't route anymore, they're dead. And then that's it. Advances. I need to... Yeah, wow, this is just if they're unbroken. I need to kill... I need to kill units at this point. You can guys go in here. Why not? Why not? This is 6 firepower. The 2-to-1. I'm gonna... What? That's already a lead. Yeah, we're gonna do this. This is a mess. This sucks. This is gonna come down to CC. All right. So that's all my advances, all the advances that can be done. Technically, like if this guy's routing and goes to here or whatever. So CC, this is the last thing I need. I need both of these to go 100% perfectly well for the Greeks. First and foremost, this side, Y8, because I feel like this is the least less stressful one. Y8, ambush chance. Greeks, Italians. There is no ambush. Pretty sure there's no ambush. Do you get anything for guarding? No. Perfect. So unless guards are auto lax, I don't think guards are lax. No, I don't think they're lax. Okay. I'm going to assume they're not lax. So, no ambush. They are going to declare hand-to-hand because I need it. It is a 4-to-1 for the Greeks. They need a... Well, actually, they can't roll 12. Yeah, they need any number outside of a 12, I believe. Whereas the Italians need a 4 or less to succeed. They got him. So the Italians are dead. Oh my god. Everybody dies. Which technically is fine. Oh, sorry. No, they're 1 to 8. I forgot. They're 1 to 8. Because they are guarding a unit. Boo. Okay. Doesn't really matter. Because realistically, like they didn't kill they didn't kill the prisoners, and that's what matters most. But man, that would have been crazy if everybody had died. And then here, ambush. Greeks, Italians. The Italians are ambushed. Because the Greeks go down by 1. So again, I will declare hand-to-hand. It is, unfortunately for the Greeks, only a 2-1, but it is a 2-1 down 2. They are not successful. 2-1. That is only a casualty reduction. So regardless of what happens, the Greeks will lose. These guys don't even have to attack back. I can just declare not to do it. And because the rule, the victory condition is no unbroken squad or MMC. Yes, no unbroken MMC. The Italians will get to declare victory because they have a half squad. And I was very tempted to send this hero into this stack to mitigate that. I didn't, and I feel like I'm paying the price. Wow. I'm going to double check the errata on this scenario because I'm curious if the victory condition may have changed. I don't think so, but yeah, okay. So, that is probably the one thing that is probably what's giving the Italians a lot of wins, is that it does not matter if they are good order or not, and it's very strange for the good order clause to not be invoked here, because that's almost always what will get people at the end. Is no good order. If you're in melee, you are not in good order, and therefore will fail a victory condition. But man, this came down to the last one. Had I rolled a 10, Italians would have died. If I'd rolled a 12, the Italians technically could have well, they would have survived. Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's a very interesting scenario. I think for how lopsided, quote unquote, the results are on the archive, I think this one deserves a fairer shake. Like, average 5.5 rating of this one, I feel is kind of low. If you get a bad start, obviously the Greeks will lose. I think that's just a scenario, a situation that can happen in a lot of scenarios. Very strange for this one to be rated so low in comparison to what I think has been some cool action. I like the partisan reinforcements. I think that saves the Greeks because you are going to lose a lot of troops. So having the reinforcements that can come in from behind, really stretch the defenders thin, is pretty neat. I think the one thing is, like, you need to get onto this third level as soon as possible. Is probably the only thing. So yeah, interesting scenario. I'd probably give it a 7. I think even a 6 feels low for it. I think I would have fun with this one regardless. What's the balance on this? Balance. Italians replace the 9-1 with an 8-0 in the Greek OB. It feels strong, but alright. Partisan MMCs are fanatic. Partisan MMCs are fanatic, but fanatic only gives you 1 morale, and become fanatic. Yeah, 1 morale, no cowering, no patsies, no disruption. Yeah, that's a weird balance. I don't know if I think the partisans should get fanatic. I think that's weird. Do you get anything? You can't get anything for. There's no way you get anything in CC for fanatic. My modifiers here. Ambush, heroic, leader. No, you don't get anything for it. I don't even think you get anything for a hand-to-hand fanatic. I don't think that counts for anything either. Yeah, I think the balance is... I would scrap the balance for the Greeks. I think that is a very weird balance, and honestly, outside of, like, if you generate a 3-3-7 somewhere, you can shoot and not cower. I think that's a thing that would matter. I think it's also very important to note, just as a parting mention, I use the IIFT. I'm not shy about saying I use the IIFT. It's in all the calculations. I much prefer the IIFT. I think it's a way cooler chart, and it involves a lot more shots and doing stuff with things. A great example is this scenario. The Italians, with their 3 firepower, It does not give them a lot more flexibility in those cases. Um, you roll if a 3 firepower unit, which is most of the Italians, shoots at any of the Greeks. 3 firepower versus 2, you can potentially get a 7 on your roll, and get pintash checks. And I think that is a really neat thing that should be calculated. Um, Having an MMG with your 347 or whatever squad, or 346 is even worse. Um, but yeah, like having 7 firepower, you get a PTC on a 9 instead of an 8, right? Like those are additions that really help out. Um, Another important part is like getting a 5 on a 7 is a 2 check instead of being reduced to a 6, losing out on that 1 firepower and not being able to get a 2 morale check on a 5. So yeah, I think this is a scenario where IIFT really kind of shows its stuff and helps out. Maybe it helps out the Italians too much. I don't think it's the case because the Greeks with the partisans at 3 firepower as well, and they're elites with 4 firepower anyways. Like they're not affected regardless. So I like this scenario. I would suggest people get it. This pack, what's the pack again? 14. This is I think the Italian pack. Yes. Um, yeah, Italian. The LFT magazine 14 was it's a magazine obviously that has uh, 32 scenarios, which is crazy to think about. 32 in a magazine. I'm pretty sure it's quite high priced if I remember correctly. I don't think it's cheap. However, I am a sucker for LFT. I think they do great work. There's very few times where I've had negative things to say about LFT, and the pack was released in 2018, so you might be able to get a secondhand copy, or just like they have a website. Go check out their website. 32 scenarios. I think it came with maps as well. It comes with counters, and it's 104 pages of like cool history and them explaining things and all that stuff. So hope you all enjoyed. I will most likely be back on Monday for another solo night, unless Rob bugs me tomorrow. But also, I believe tomorrow is Father's Day, so play ASL with your dads or something. I don't know. Enjoy the weekend. I will see you next time. Bye.